Now we're going to talk a little bit about visiting Rome and specifically getting around and being able to get everything you want to see in during the space of just a day or two. If you only have one day, you probably won't be able to get in everything you want. But if you have 2 days or the better part of 2 days in Rome, you should be able to visit at least the two main areas of Vatican City and Vatican Museum and St. Peter's, which we have over here. Just to show you briefly, we had this is the map of the Vatican Museum and tickets and so forth. You should try to reserve your entry ahead of time. That saves an awful lot of time standing in line if you've got your tickets ahead. And then the other sort of main area, if you've never been to Rome and you only have a limited time, you're going to want to see the Colosseum and the Roman Forum, Palatine Hill. And that's also a combo ticket which you can purchase ahead of time online. Again, saving usually a great deal of time in lines. It does depend a bit on the time of year, but this is one of the more popular sites in Rome. So when we got off our boat, we had to get onto a shuttle bus. This bus was free. Short ride off the pier to a drop-off point. Then when you get off the shuttle bus, you have to know which way to go in. Of course, it's possible that there are crowds and crowds of people from several boats. The crowd sort of knows where to go, in which case you can just follow the people. But if there's not crowds of people and you're wondering where you're supposed to go, this little map, which again it's on the back side of that €1 map that we got when purchasing our tickets, shows you how your cruise ship is down here somewhere, and then you get the shuttle bus which brings you up to this point, and then you have to go, as I say, there's a kind of a gate you go through there. Maybe you can go around it, I didn't really notice, but we went anyway. We walked through this gate, turned right, there was a ticket purchase spot right here, and you could either buy there or later, and then you have to go up here and then across. This looks kind of like a parking lot area, and then the train station is right over here. You can either purchase tickets at the point where the bus drops you off. There is one shop selling tickets, or you can just go all the way to the train station. You need to validate your ticket. Has to be punched. And here, this ticket, actually we got BIRG ticket, is good both for the train trip in and for transportation around in Rome, if you're going to be going from one point to another using subway. So then this map, I think we did actually pay something like €1 for this along with our train tickets. Well worth it, better than most of the other maps that were available, and it has names on a lot of the little streets. Anyway, I think it was well worth the €1. So which train are you going to take? Well, you have to check and see if the train stops at the station you want to go to. If you're going to Vatican, then you want to get off at the San Pietro station. Then it's a pretty short walk from there, or there are buses you can take, but it's a fairly short walk. But again, the map comes in handy. Then the other main train station is called the Termini. You can come into one, go back out of the other. The Termini is closer to the Colosseum and Forum area. Again, you might or might not choose to actually walk from the train station to the Colosseum. It's not an impossible walk. And then there's just various other sites scattered around in Rome that are, some of them within walking distance, some not, depends on your capacity. There's limited metro. Okay? The metro is not as well developed as in a number of other cities we visited, but there are also buses going all over the place. One thing to be aware of is that the train trip from the cruise ship into Rome is quite long. It's about an hour. You have to be sure to check the schedule for the way back, before you leave the train station, just because you do not, of course, want to miss your boat, depending on the time of day, maybe every half hour or so. But again, you need to really plan enough time to get back to the train station, get on a train, and then get from the train station back to the shuttle bus and the boat.
No, we weren't. Because I remember there's a restaurant, like, out here.
Okay. What you're looking at here is a map of the Vatican Museum. It's quite large. It can take you hours to get through. Okay, you enter in this way, and right after you go up the first set of stairs or escalator, you'll hit a choice. Do you want to go right or left? We suggest first going to the right and doing this part labeled the Pinoteca first, because then in case you decide after the Sistine Chapel that you don't want to come all the way back, then you've already seen that part.
Is this a two-level map or is one-level map?
There's more than one level that you're on. Okay. Then here's another point where, if you wish, you can choose to go and see this section, the papal apartments, or you can choose at this point to just go directly to the Sistine Chapel, which is here. Now, once you've seen the Sistine Chapel, then you have another choice, actually. One that isn't too well publicized. You can either follow the suggested tour route, the usual suggested route, and go all the way back down this hall, which is still filled with exhibits, and then out through the main entrance. Or from the Sistine Chapel, there is actually another exit at the back right that will take you out and, in fact, straight over to St. Peter's Basilica. So if you haven't already been in the Basilica, you might wish to choose that, particularly in crowded times, because that way you get to avoid having to go all the way back through the rest of the Vatican, out, around, and then go through new security lines at St. Peter's. So if by the time you get to the Sistine Chapel you figure, I've had enough of the museum, or I'm out of time and I really want to get into St. Peter's, just go through that little door there. Now, it is marked. It does say for tour groups only, but it's not too hard to just kind of tag along and look like you're part of a tour group. And that can save you a good deal of time. Of course, that does mean, if you don't mind omitting that last section of the Vatican Museum.
Yeah, what about St. Pete Basilica? Is a long line there, and is it hot?
Well, if you are going in from the outside, just into the Basilica, yes, there was again, this is early July, there was quite a long line, which is a security line, because they want to check everyone. There's no admission charge, but there's a long security line. Depending on your time of year, of course, again, early July, it can be very hot. So that was...
So the security line was somewhere here,
right,
and all around to that direction.
Although keep in mind, this map is not quite to scale, but yes, the security line ran all the way down into St. Peter's Square.
So that's a trick that you can save some time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the St. Peter's Basilica, and it's enormous.
Take a picture of me.
So there's over here, and then just down lots of little corridors, and not corridors, but halls, or not halls, but corners. Over here, they're probably heading for the chairs. Okay, so here we are at the Pantheon. There's Mom and Dad, and Steven's somewhere up there. I think that's what and yeah, it's really cool. There's all these pillars that are... Wait, Mom, which pillars were stolen?
In the very front.
In the very front, the pillars out the door in the very front were apparently stolen from the Egyptians, like actually stolen, not just the architecture stolen. And that hole at the top is 30 feet. And yeah, observe. I think they're having they're sitting down, maybe some sort of mass or something at the altars.